Greetings, friends and folk. It's a beautiful day today, and I'm on a deload week, and this week I'm concentrating on improving my squat form. As some of you may know from following me for a while, about almost 2.5 years ago, I injured my left knee, and for a 1.5 years, or actually close to 2 years, it was just hardly healing while I was eating a vegan diet. The vegan diet was not providing me with adequate protein or zinc, and I abandoned the vegan diet. And since I abandoned the vegan diet, my knee has improved considerably, and so I am looking at starting to include barbell squats in my strength training again, and I wanted to improve my squat mobility so that I can do deep, preferably ass to grass squats with good form. So today I'm going to show you what I have been doing to improve my squat mobility. Let's take a look. Let's start with hip mobility. On all of my strength training days, I start out with a warm-up routine, and this exercise series is part of the warm-ups that I do. So I start off with 5 deep squats, bodyweight squats, and I spend a little bit of time, maybe a second or two in the bottom, spreading the knees apart and trying to sit between my thighs. I do 5 of these body weight regular squats. After I finish those, I do 5 where I start out with this moving my knees together and then spreading them apart in the deep position. So I squat down, move the knees together, spread them apart, stand up again, and repeat. And then again I repeat this 5 times. After completing 5 of those, I do this more advanced mobility, moving the knee to the opposite foot. So squat down, move the knees together, move them apart, then move the right knee to the ground and the left knee to the ground. Then stabilize in the bottom, get good form, and stand up. Repeat this 5 times. And now for the final 5 of these bodyweight squats, I bring the knees together, right knee to the ground, left knee to the ground, and then bring the knees together again. So bring them apart, get a good position, stand up, repeat. Good position, knees together, right knee to the ground, left knee to the ground, knees apart, knees together, knees apart, get a good position, activate the glutes and stand up. So then I repeat this 5 times. The whole series takes about 3 minutes. Okay, so that's how I warm up and work on the hip mobility for the squat. Next, I'm using some things I learned from Aaron, I think it's Horschig. He does a YouTube channel called Squat University, and first of all, he has a ankle mobility diagnosis video. I'll link to that down below. And through that video, I determined that one of my limitations in squatting is ankle mobility. So one of the things that Horschig says is that if you have a knee problem, then most likely you have something wrong with your ankle mobility or your hip mobility. I knew that I had a problem with my hip mobility, so I've been working on that with all my mobility routines. But I wasn't working that diligently on ankle mobility. So when I did the ankle mobility diagnosis test, I determined that I had deficient ankle mobility, so I started doing these exercises that he recommends for improving ankle immobility that's due to tightness in the calves. So let's take a look at that. So the first thing I'm doing to improve ankle mobility is the heel drop on a block. Now I was already doing this as part of my regular mobility, but not with the kind of intensity that I have adopted since watching the videos from Squat University. So this is how it goes. So the key thing for me was that I didn't have my feet always held parallel to one another. And because of that, I was shifting my weight somewhat to the right, away from the left side, which was the side that has the greatest tightness and where I had the knee injury. So after watching the videos from Squat University, I paid more attention to how I was doing it. Now I keep my feet very parallel, and I can feel a greater stretch on the left side. I still have more tension in the left gastrocnemius, and I cannot stretch as deeply on that, but it's gotten better over the last few days since I started this intensive program. Now here's this ankle mobility test along with the ankle stretch that I learned from Squat University. You need a ruler or some other way to measure 5 inches from a wall. So you set up the ruler so that one end hits the wall, and then you put your big toe at the 5-inch, your toes should be at the 5 inches away from the wall. Then you go forward and keeping your heel against the ground, against the floor. Can you touch your knee to the wall? If you can't touch your knee to the wall, then you have deficient ankle mobility for deep squatting. So mine has improved over a few days because I've been doing these stretches, but I use this as a stretch as well. So I test myself without holding my heel down. Then I put my hand on my heel to anchor my heel and press forward, aiming to get my knee to close this gap against the wall. And I hold this for about 30 seconds. And we do the other side again. Toe should be 5 inches from the wall. Test to see how close you can get your knee to the wall. After testing, hold your heel down and move your knee towards the wall. All right, so the next thing is foam rolling. Do some foam rolling on the calves to break up the adhesions, whatever's preventing the calves from stretching fully. So you want a firm foam roller. You can just put it on the floor. Put your one calf on the foam roller, cross the other leg over, and very slowly roll, looking for the spots where there's pain, like right there. And then just keep the pressure on that painful spot. Move back and forth just a little bit. Very slow, small movement. Okay, after doing one side, switch to the other. Mine's a lot more painful on the left side, which is the side I injured the knee. Calf is a lot tighter there. Okay, after those, I'm going back to the wall to test my mobility again. Starting again with the left side, which is the least mobile side for me. So now I'm about 2 inches, my knee is about 2 inches from the wall, and my heel is flat. So I'm even just one round of those exercises got me closer. Let's try the other side. So this knee is pretty close to only 1 inch from the wall. Okay, I'm going to do another round of the foam rolling. I've got a lot of tension behind the left knee, so I'm rolling out the back of the knee this time. All right, one more test against the wall. Okay, so I'm getting pretty close here. Barely can get my hand through here. So it's about an inch. The knee is now about an inch from the wall without pressing down on the heel. And right side is definitely closer. Maybe even less than an inch clearance on the left or on the right side now. So you can see that this routine has an immediate effect, and I've probably in 2 days, I've practiced this Monday, so this is the 3rd day I've practiced this routine, and I've probably improved by about an inch. I mean, got my knee about an inch closer to the wall. So I've got one more thing that I do, and I have to put my lifting shoes on for that. So you want these lifting shoes, or a shoe with a, see, lifting shoes are got a heel. It's about 1.5 inch heel, and then they're very, very thin sole in the front, so they slope down. And for this following exercise, you want to have that slope. So if you don't have lifting shoes, you might want to use a block or some other shoe that has a similar heel to sole ratio or slope. So what you're going to do now is squat and hold the squat for 5 minutes, trying to keep the back flat and knees extended over the feet as much as possible. You might need an upright to hold on to help you stay here. So after I complete the squat mobility routine, I tried some back squats, deep back squats with a very light bar. The bar I have right now is 16 pounds. And you can see I get a good deep squat. I do have a little bit of hip tuck, or what's called by some butt wink at the bottom, but according to Dr. Horschig, if that butt wink is only after you've passed the parallel and are only the bottom, it's not that much of a concern, but I think I can get rid of it entirely by just increasing my ankle mobility, getting that last inch of ankle mobility, getting my knee that last inch closer all the way to the wall. So I'm pleased with my squat form, but right now I still have an imbalance between my right and left due to the injury that I had to my left knee. So I'm going to go very slow in increasing resistance on the bar and gradually build up the mobility and strength of the left side, which is not equal to that on the right. Here I added 10 pounds to the bar, so it's a total of 26 pounds. And I'm working on mobility by spending some extra time at the bottom, working on the hip mobility, keeping the alignment of the knee and foot, and also the total body tension, chest up, upper back in a tight position, so that everything's very tight at the bottom, which it should be in order to lift heavy weights in the squat. So it looks to me like I'll be able to have a very good ass to grass squat, and I can work on heavy barbell squats very soon. I'm going to gradually increase the resistance on the bar by maybe 5 to 10 pounds per session, training it 3 times per week, get it back up to some of my previous highs in the barbell squat. So I hope this video was helpful to you, or you may find it helpful for someone else. Please pass it along. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.